Hello, it's Angela here. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner, yoga teacher, and I'm here to share some wisdom around alcohol use in our 50s. um, this topic has come up for me so much over the last couple of years, where we have family who have given up alcohol for a number of reasons or let go of substance abuse like marijuana. And I'm sharing this for any clients that I have who may have family also going through this. And the wonder my kids are loud. The wonderful thing about the Ayurvedic perspective, it's just another perspective. It's different than the Western perspective because there's no judgment. It's all about the practicality of how alcohol affects the doshas in the body. The doshas are the elements of the body. So we have fire, water, earth, air, and ether. And all of these create the doshas of the body, which we have in our bodies that help keep us working in the way that we are working. And that could be in a balanced way, or it could be in an imbalanced way. So identifying your dominant doshas or something else, that's another video, it's another lesson, but around alcohol use or other substance abuse, like marijuana in particular, anything else, cocaine, Adderall, all of these affect the mind and the body as they are designed to do, right? Alcohol in particular, as well as marijuana, Adderall. All of these dry out our bodies. And in our 50s, our body has already started the natural process of drying out as we age. The trajectory for us is to age and pass on in another spiritual context, another spiritual body. And this body is made up of mostly water. So the drying effect is already naturally happening. So alcohol exacerbates that drying effect. And if we casually drank in our youth, 20s, 30s, 40s, we have started to see the telltale signs of the drying of our bodies through alcohol and other substance abuse. And maybe we didn't notice those effects because they were more subtle. Generally speaking, after we hit 50, the effects are less subtle. And we begin to need to address the effects, generally speaking, of the exacerbation of drying our bodies from these substances. So that can happen. What that means is, in drying out our bodies, we are creating smaller blood flow vessels, veins. We're creating smaller alveoli in our lungs, which capture air. We're limiting our oxygen capacity. So we're limiting our oxygen capacity, our blood flow. Then that means we are also limiting our digestion, which includes our liver. And, our liver is an organ that helps to detoxify the digestive system. The kidneys help to detoxify our moisture in our body. So with limited blood flow, limited oxygen for nourishing the blood, it creates problems in these two organs of elimination, and we then see stagnation throughout our body. So, stagnation of energy, stagnation of digestion, and it creates just a problem in our body of stagnant energy. So that means there may be constipation, there may be sluggish feelings, depression. It also means that the brain may be reacting beyond depression, but in a way known as a vata imbalance. So, vata are the elements of air and ether. So, air, we think of wind, movement. Um, Movement is probably the best way to think of it, but also air, which is very drying, right? Ether, if we think of ether as space. So, vata takes up a lot of space. And it can be such that the space generally is in our brains. Vata disorders happen first in our brains and in our digestion too. But first in our brains. So drying effect, limited capacity of the liver, limited capacity with the kidneys, adrenal glands, everything is taxed. So what that means is stagnation can happen in the brain, but that does not always present itself as depression. That will present itself as confusion, as desperation, sometimes delirium, or it can be such that it's coming up as mental illness or anxiety. So while depression and anxiety often go together, it's not always the case. So it can be confusing when we see folks who are slightly agitated, aggressive, powerful, and all of that energy is from having stagnation in the brain. And then the brain tends to move it around too much. So the stagnation has built up. It creates sometimes a situation of a mental breakdown. And that's just the energetic quality of the experience. Sometimes it's good to look at this perspective to have a better handle on the practical nature of our body. We can often get caught up in the psychoanalysis or the psychiatric analysis or the judgment of others or the emotional draw that we have had, the investment that we've made in a person who may be going through this, in our own struggles around it. The Ayurvedic perspective can actually help to diffuse this situation at the onset. So if you can use a partnership of adding Ayurveda principles with the Western modality, it can help make everything go a lot more smoothly and maybe even faster. Oftentimes, those with substance abuse tendencies will respond well to a mechanical approach to diffusing the breakdown or the bottoming out. Finding bottom is very classic with addiction problems. So if you are a family healer, if you are a friend helping someone negotiate this time that can be very emotional, this can be a very practical approach to understanding the body and what is going on. During these times of facilitating or helping a family member who may be suffering from addiction, mental breakdown, or just simple problems related to all of this, finding grounding activities like nourishing diet with grounding foods. So, eliminating meats from the diet can be very helpful. Additions of potatoes, um, winter squashes. We're entering into spring, so spring squashes would be very grounding too. Traditionally, butternut squash, sweet potato, purple sweet potato, and any kind of potato can be very grounding to the body. Switching from alcohol will immediately facilitate a hydration in the body. So, just moving that out of the body can be very helpful, and it won't take that long to have it out of the body completely. Other kinds of drugs take longer. So, prescription drugs, street drugs, that takes a lot longer to get out of the system, but it is absolutely doable. Grounding the body with those nourishing vegetables would be very powerful. The other thing that can help is drinking hot water with a lemon. That simple action can help to minimize the effects of cleansing, detoxifying, and can just alleviate that depressive quality, as well as lemon is an uplifting fruit. Other things that can be added to the diet, which are incredibly potent, are rosemary, thyme, holy basil, fennel, fenugreek, cumin, and black pepper. Cardamom is also very grounding. Nutmeg can be grounding too. So you can essentially add these herbs to your diet, load them on, and the effects are powerful. The other thing that is very powerful right now is to add some anti-inflammatory agents like turmeric, pomegranate seeds, berries. What else? I'm just doing this all on the fly here. Maca, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha can be very helpful right now, especially to both men and women, but especially to men, as it helps to improve their muscle tone, which can help counteract the depleting effects of alcohol on muscle tone, blood flow. So these are just some quick tips. There's always more, and I'll reach out more. Oh, the other thing is pelvic floor support during the release of addictions can be incredibly healing. It can help to evoke feelings of support, safety, grounding. It can help to balance the hormones, which are completely out of whack, as the endocrine system has not been nourished properly for maybe a very long time from depleted blood flow and oxygen levels. So this surge in action with pelvic floor exercise can truly help to carve out an easy way to recover from addiction. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.